We are back with a recap of the Blue Jackets losing to the Red Wings at home. Final score is 2-4, the Red Wings snapping a 3-game losing streak. It was Korpisalo getting another start in net for the Blue Jackets, Ville Husso in for the Red Wings. The first period early on, it was already going in Detroit's favor. However, Korpisalo was pretty solid enough at first. And then the Jackets failed to clear a puck. And then a really nice play by Zarnik for the Red Wings to get position on Jake Christensen and able to deflect the puck past Korpisalo. And that's how you get the score of 1-0 early in the earlier stages of the first period. The Blue Jackets seeming to be kind of a step behind the Wings. This is a little concerning, figuring that the Red Wings were on the second half of a back-to-back. So I'm not sure what the reasoning is for Detroit just kind of outplaying and out-hustling the Blue Jackets. Brad Larson saying post-game that they weren't, they kind of lost the game in their heads a little bit. So maybe that had, I'm not sure why that is. That's kind of seems like it's on both players and coaching, but you would hope that the coach would have the players ready, that the players would also be ready to play, but whatever. Later in the first period, the Red Wings would get another power play, and this time it would be Dominic Kubalik cashing in on a high-danger chance on the one-timer, and that would increase the Red Wings lead to 2-0, and that's how the first period would end. More undisciplined play from the Blue Jackets in the second period that would lead to a 5-on-3, and these officiating calls are pretty valid. It's not like the Jackets are getting hosed on any of these calls or anything. They were normal penalties that you would expect a competent NHL referee to call. And Lucas Raymond getting a goal with 9 seconds left on that two-man advantage. And by this point, the game is getting a little chippy. The Blue Jackets obviously not very happy that they're down 3-0, and so they're starting to get a little pushing and shoving, and the Red Wings are more than happy to respond back. Later in the late stages of the second period, the Blue Jackets get a power play of their own, and Marcus Bjork cashing in after the team gets a little too pass happy, I think, on that power play. Some of the time, it seems like the Blue Jackets are trying to look for the perfect opportunity, especially in this game when a good opportunity would have been enough. Patrick Laine had multiple shooting chances on odd man rushes that he passed up on. He had a 2-on-1 with Boone Jenner that he tried to pass over. If Patrick Laine has a 2-on-1, he should be the one shooting it, especially if the recipient of that pass is going to be Boone Jenner. And again, on a 3-on-1, if Patrick Laine has a shot at the goalie to take, then I would like him to take that as well. Maybe this team needs a bit of a shoot first and ask questions later mentality to them. I know some people might like to think, the Jackets have a lot of playmakers on them like Gaudreau and Kent Johnson, and Patrick Laine I do think is an underrated passer, but I do feel like at some point you're going to have to just get shots to the net. So heading into the third period, the score is 1-3. The Red Wings with a 3, obviously. But early on in that period, Johnny Gaudreau circling around the offensive zone. It would be kind of wrong to say the Blue Jackets had a dominant offensive zone shift when really it was just Johnny Gaudreau doing what he does. He was able to find Kent Johnson on the doorstep pretty much wide open, and Kent Johnson taking Laine's place on that top line in the third period. Laine playing with Roslovic, and I think it was Gus Nyquist, I think there. I'll have to look at that again. But anyway, it seems like not so much of a demotion per se, just kind of Brad Larson just trying to shake things up and maybe wake the offense up a little bit. And it kind of worked, because after this goal, it really looked like the Blue Jackets might at least tie this game and send it to overtime, when they probably had no business even trying to think about getting a point out of this game. Johnny Gaudreau hitting a post shortly after. The Jackets really looking for this tying goal, but Ville Husso, he was standing tall. He was very, very good for the Red Wings as well. So it wasn't just, the Red Wings skaters bailing out. Ville Husso wasn't having to do much. Ville Husso was very solid when he was tested early in the game, and especially in the third period. The Jackets trying to keep pushing, but eventually Andrew Kopp sends in a really tough angle shot off of Korpisalo into the net to increase the Red Wings lead back to 2 goals. It's a 2-4 game, and that was just really a deflating goal for the Blue Jackets, who they kept trying. It's not like they completely gave up and died after that goal, but you could tell that there was a certain energy that the Jackets had before that goal, and then kind of after that goal, it's like, okay, well, I guess the comeback is going to fall a little bit short there. The Red Wings took advantage of the opportunities that the Blue Jackets gave them in this game. The Blue Jackets were getting out-hustled, which led to them being behind in the play, which led to penalties having to be taken. And on those power plays, Detroit I think they were 2 for 4. The Jackets' penalty kill has been pretty solid as of late, but Detroit able to get some high danger chances in there and capitalize on those. So props to them, and the Blue Jackets just have to. This was just kind of a game that looked like earlier on in the season where they were having that really awful stretch where there would be some consistent pressure there, but there, in between those, there would be some lulls of just not being on the same level playing field as your opponent, which is a little concerning. But that just seems like it's going to be a little bit par for the course, a little bit for the Blue Jackets as we continue on in this season. As the season goes along, it's going to be harder and harder to realistically tell yourself as a fan that, like, yeah, if they just win, 10 straight games, they'll be right back into this thing. It's getting kind of, as we move forward, it's going to get closer and closer past the point of no return where it's like, okay, this team is obviously not going to go anywhere. Now you start thinking about what you do with the trade deadline, what your position is in the draft. If you're not already, I know there are a ton of Jackets fans who are right now just celebrating every loss, and they're cursing every standings point that they get. I'm not quite there yet, but if the Jackets play like this for another month or so, then maybe it might be time to realistically look at some of your contracts and see what you can do heading up to the trade deadline. So thank you all for watching this video. If you made it this far, please feel free to leave a like and a subscribe. If you like this video and like to see more like it, let me know if you have something to say in the comments below. I will see you at the next one.